The word of my testimony for which I was slain. Chapter 75. Spirit of Elijah. Since the age of 5, Elijah always had music in his heart. After visiting a music store one day, he saw rows and rows of keyboards which were for teaching classes in music. Drawn to the pattern of black and white keys and wanting to know what it meant, he asked his mom if he could take lessons. Elijah's mother had the spirit of Mary, and he always held her in high esteem, as well as God himself, infinitely more than Elijah. So Elijah learned how to read music, unlocking the mystery of the patterned keys, but found the rigors of practicing every day while all the kids on the street played football too demanding, and left his pursuit of piano mastery and went outside to play. One Christmas, upon having received a guitar, he was taught his very first guitar lesson by his uncle, who was his esteemed mother Marie's sister, Jude's husband. Elijah practiced those 5 chords till his fingers bled. From that time forth, Elijah has always kept the guitar close at hand, but was never able to maintain the discipline required to master it fully. As he grew in the Lord in stature, he jumped at the opportunity to get out of class and participate in the school band. He tried many instruments, from percussion to brass, and finally settled on tenor sax after being challenged by his teacher that if he took it home and learned to make it sound better than unpleasant, that it was his to keep. Advancing to high school, much to his dismay, the teacher would have him play low brass parts on his saxophone, which was so unchallenging to him. He insisted his teacher provide him a low brass instrument he could take home and learn to play. That's when he discovered a euphonium in the music storage room. Throughout his years, Elijah dabbled with many different musical instruments, only ever just long enough to make them make sounds more pleasing than painful. The only 2 instruments that he ever laid his hand to and failed to stop waking up the dead was violin and clarinet. Elijah was always a warrior for justice. Even as a child, he could spot unfairness a mile away. Just because he was youngest didn't mean his pie slice should be smaller than the rest. Walking through life, always trying to pay it forward, he was always looking to help a person in need, a trait picked up from his esteemed mother, no doubt. Once, while at summer camp, with the youth group he led, he saw a young man, a college-age volunteer, suffer a knee injury. As 2 others helped the young man to a golf cart in order to go have a doctor examine him, Elijah, having felt the Spirit move him to step out in faith and lay hands on the young man, asking God to fix his knee, that the doctor would not be able to find anything wrong. Elijah never saw the young man since, but always wondered if God had answered his prayer. Elijah never felt like he fit in this world, but always kept his heart focused on the truths of God and walked unaware of all that God was doing in him and all that the enemies of God were doing to him to stop God's destiny for him. Elijah loved his youth group kids almost as much as the woman that captured his heart and left with it as a cloud-covered moon leaves the night sky. He loved the way she looked into his eyes when he would tell her the things of God. A look of wonder, as if hearing truth for the first time ever. After a lifelong string of failed attempts to chariot himself to stardom, he decided that he had passed the age of ascension and turned his hand towards worship music. Having a blessed ministry for 10 years, he baptized many into God's family, at least the sincere donkeys, and even having had the chance to baptize Asherah twice, a false pagan god. Now, Elijah enjoys spending time at the West Wall in Jerusalem, hanging out with real people and speaking truths of God, correcting them as gently as needed to bring light and life to the whole world. Our curators have assembled this dazzling collection of timeless music that spans genres as far as the East is from the West, songs to dance to, hanging out with friends, and even a set of love songs that would make any bride feel like a princess. 9 bonus tracks, including the #1 hit Already Long Gone, and top charting reading music, makes this a true value and eternal treasure.